Hey guys, there's a new online platform called Malops.io. It's a great, I've been experimenting doing some challenges on here. It's great if you want to learn more about malware analysis and hone your skills in reverse engineering. So we're going to go over this challenge called Singularity. It's a rootkit and there's about 15 questions, I think. And yeah, so the first question is what's the SHA-256 hash of the sample? That should be easy. Here's the file. It gives you singularity.ko. I'm going to go into my tools. This is Flare VM, by the way. I'm going to go into utility, hash my files, yeah. I'm going to drag this into here. It'll give us our SHA-256, copy that, and that's the answer. I already solved this challenge, this is why I can't put it in. So what's the name of the primary initialization function when the module is loaded? Okay, so we're going to open this up in actually Binary Ninja. Start, and let's open up Singularity. So if we search in the symbols for init, we can find there's an init module function here that loads a bunch of other functions, modules one by one. So the answer here would be init module, init underscore module. And then the next question is how many distinct feature initialization functions are called within the above mentioned functions? So that would be counting here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of those. That's how many features are called one by one. Now it's asking about reset tainted init function creates a kernel thread for anti-forensics. What is the hard-coded name of this thread? Okay, so let's go into reset tainted init, and it's saying that there is a hard-coded name for anti-forensics. Here's a K thread, kernel thread. That must be what it's talking about. Yeah. So the hard-coded name would be Zerot, right? So that's the answer there. The add hidden PID function has a hard-coded limit. What is the maximum number of PIDs the rootkit can hide? Okay. So what is the name of that function? Add hidden PID. Let's go ahead and search for that. Add hidden PID. It's checking to see if, as long as the hidden count as the rootkit goes through and hides the PIDs, as long as it doesn't hit 32. So that's the maximum amount. If it does hit 32, it breaks out of this while loop and then it stops hiding. So the answer there would be 32. And then what what is the name of the function called last within init module in the rootkit itself? Let's go back to init module. The last function is called module hide current with underscores as spaces. That would be the answer there. And then this says the TCP port hiding module is initialized. What is the hardcore coded port number is configured to hide? All right, we go and search for TCP in the symbols. We can see that there's a TCP hiding init. Or actually, if we go to hiding TCP init, TCP4 here. So we can see down here that there's a mention of there's some numbers here. Yeah, so we see that with this function here, it's taking this IP address and it's trying to hide this number here, which in signed is negative 242.50. If we are to convert that, let's do decimal to hex. Negative 24250. Convert that to hex. And then because this is an L file and little endian, we need to do hex to decimal of this, but we're going to put 46 first. And then we're going to convert, and the answer is 18081. So that would be the port number it's trying to hide. Whoops. Yeah, because it's defining here saying that V is supposed to be this number as long as that is not equal to this number, and this is not equal, 12 is not equal to this port number. So yeah, that would be the number it's trying to hide. So the next one is, what is the hard-coded magic word string checked for by privilege escalation module? So if we go into, let's go into view and look at some strings here. And if we scroll down, there should be a mention of a magic, yeah, baby elephant. That's the magic word, and if we see where it's referenced, it's right here inside of the function called hook get UID, right? Access process VM. Yeah, this is privilege escalation, definitely. It's trying to break out of a VM, potentially. At least that's what it looks like. Trying to probably find that process. So yeah, that would be the baby elephant. And then, I'm sorry, question 9. How many hooks in total does the become root init function install to enable privilege escalation? Become root init. So let's search for that. Huh? Yeah. Okay. So how many does it count? Well, it's going to call, let's see, A, which is 10. So 10 hooks it's going to install to enable privilege escalation. That's the answer there. What's the hard-coded IPv4 address of the C2 server? We saw that in that TCP function, right? We saw that in here. Here's the hard-coded IP it's going to try to connect to with a reverse shell. So that would be the answer there. Of the C2 server, yeah. What's the hard-coded port number the C2 server listens on? Okay. So in order to figure that out, we need to, let's search for rev shell, spawn rev shell. Here's a function here. The port it's going to listen to on is going to be, so here's something interesting, right? This is the reverse shell that it's spawning with bash, right? Since this is an L file, it's going to run on Linux. And we see the %s, which here, which is putting the port number in, right? So the PID is going to be Firefox Updater. Here's the C2 server it's going to connect to here. And then in this data, we can see it points to 443. So that's interesting, right? So the answer would be 443. So that's common with malware, is that they will attempt to spawn a reverse shell or run something on port 443 so that during like network forensics, somebody who's not looking hard enough would potentially just dismiss it as, oh, it's just HTTPS traffic, right? So next it says, what network protocol is hooked to listen for the backdoor trigger? ICMP. If we search for ICMP, there's a hook, ICMP with RCV. And in here, it says, what network protocol is hooked to listen for the backdoor trigger? So that would be ICMP, right? Let's take this signed decimal right here under here, because it's looking for as long as something equals the trigger IP and this signed decimal. So negative 125.37. Let's actually convert that decimal to hex. Should be negative 125.37. And if we convert that, and then I'm going to assume, so I'm going to type in 07CF, so We convert that. This is a port number 1999. So if we look up port 1999, okay, so it's not anything, doesn't seem to be connected to any sort of, I see. Yeah, so here's this port number that we found. This isn't really technically part of the questions yet, but it says 1999 was identified as a used in backdoors, sub 7, trans scout. Yeah, so there you go. But yeah, the answer would be ICMP. I kind of got off track there, sorry. What is the magic sequence number that triggers the reverse shell? That would be 1999. That we found previously right here. Taking this signed decimal, converting it to hex, and then converting little endian, it would be 1999. So the next question is, when the trigger conditions are met, what is the name of the function Q to execute the reverse shell? Well, we already know that would be spawn rev shell. And the last question would be, what is the hard-coded process name it uses for the reverse shell? Well, we can see here that it's Firefox Updater. So that's the answer there. So yeah, pretty cool. Try some challenges out. I'll leave a link to this platform in the description. And yeah.